Take a look at this spinning silhouette. I have a simple question for you. Is this image actually moving? Whether you said yes or no, your brain is actively deceiving you right now. Every morning, we wake up, open our eyes, and assume we are seeing the world exactly as it is. We treat our vision like a security camera, recording absolute, objective truth. But your eyes don't process reality. They only capture raw light. It is your brain that takes that light and fabricates a subjective story out of it. Because our mind is the only lens through which we view the world, our entire perception of reality gets warped the very moment that biological lens decides to take a shortcut. To understand exactly how this deception works, we have to look at the very first step of the cognitive pipeline, how your brain gathers visual data. Look at these two lines. Which one is longer? They are mathematically identical. Your brain cannot process these lines in isolation. It uses the surrounding arrows as depth cues, assuming one line is further away and adjusting its perceived size. This contextual flaw explains why the internet lost its collective mind over a single photograph of a dress in 2015. Brains accustomed to warm, outdoor sunlight assumed the photo was lit the same way, making the dress appear blue and black. Indoor accustomed brains assumed the opposite, seeing white and gold. At the very first step of perception, your brain relies on aggressive guesswork. Because of this, two people can look at the same object and inhabit entirely different realities. Even if your eyes gather data correctly, your brain might simply throw it away. Consider a famous psychological study conducted at Harvard University. Researchers asked participants to watch a video of people passing a basketball, with strict instructions to count the exact number of passes made. When the video ended, everyone gave their count, but half of the participants completely failed to notice a person in a full gorilla suit walking directly through the middle of the game. Psychologists call this inattentional blindness. Your brain operates on limited processing bandwidth, so it actively deletes visual information it deems unimportant to the task at hand. Your brain effectively erases massive chunks of reality happening right in front of your open eyes. So what happens to the tiny fraction of reality that survives this filtering? It gets stored as memory. And to see how fragile that storage system is, we can look at the work of psychologist Elizabeth Loftus. Loftus showed groups of people a simple video of a car accident and then asked them to estimate how fast the vehicles were moving. The trick was her phrasing. Asking how fast cars went when they hit versus smashed changed everything. The smashed group falsely remembered shattered glass. Every time you access a memory, your brain mixes it with new context and rewrites it. Because your memories are partially fabricated stories, the timeline of your own past, the very basis of your identity, is unreliable. Now we reach the final stage. Your brain takes flawed visual inputs, aggressively filtered details, and corrupted memories to build unshakable beliefs. Consider the relatable example of someone deciding that 7 is their lucky number. The number's frequency is unchanged, but your brain selectively scans the environment to validate its belief. Every 7 becomes a data point. This is confirmation bias. The brain seeks validation, automatically filtering out evidence that contradicts its existing worldview. When we treat information this way, accepting what feels right and deflecting what feels wrong, we become highly vulnerable to misinformation. It is the biological mechanism that allows entirely opposite conclusions. If our senses guess, our attention deletes, and our memories mutate, then absolute certainty is impossible. Your brain isn't doing this to be malicious. Through millions of years of evolution, it developed these aggressive shortcuts because making a rapid, slightly flawed guess about a predator kept our ancestors alive much longer than pausing for perfect factual accuracy. In the modern world, those survival traits become liabilities. The only viable countermeasure we have is scientific thinking. Scientific thinking is the deliberate act of pausing to question your own immediate assumptions. It is choosing to verify facts instead of blindly accepting your first impressions. Albert Einstein understood the necessity of this mental flexibility, observing that the true measure of intelligence is the ability to change. True intelligence is not possessing absolute certainty, but having the courage to recognize, question, and ultimately correct the flawed conclusions of your own mind. Stay curious and question everything.